Hello dear students, I'm really happy to be here. Even when I cannot see you, I know that you can see me and that we are going to remember the things that we have learned about natural science. During this class, we are going to remember the section number 1 of the unit number 1. And maybe in the following class, we are going to continue with the section number 2. So the section number 1, I remember that was about the ecosystem. We learned a lot of things about the same thing. Now, I'm gonna ask you the first question about this only in order to remember, because this is a class that was already taught. Question number 1 says, how is the ecosystem divided? We need to remember that the ecosystem is divided in 2 parts. Do you remember that? Okay, if you don't, we are going to remember together. We have in here the biotic and the abiotic factors. So, well, these words seem difficult to me. I don't know what are those. But in simple words, biotic factors are going to be the living things. Example, human beings, animals, plants, bacteria are going to be biotic. And the abiotic factors are going to be the non-living things that are going to be part of an ecosystem. Example, a rock, example, the water that the animals are going to drink. Now, something important to mention about the abiotic is the difference between abiotic factors and inert things. Abiotic is going to refer to things that have never been alive. Example, a rock has never been alive. It's going to be abiotic. But if I say inert, I can have in here a beautiful cat, but sadly, the cat is going to be dead. So, is this cat going to be abiotic or is it going to be inert? It's going to be inert because it's not alive anymore. But in the past, he was. Now, another thing that we need to remember about the same thing of the ecosystem is going to be, about the organization of living things. We know that living things are organized in 3 parts. Number 1, we are going to have in here a population. And what is this population? It's going to be a group of animals of the same species living in the same time at the same place. Example, we have in here a population of bears living in the forest. Now, we are going to see here another population. This is going to be in another habitat because this population of camels is going to belong to the desert. Now in here I have another population of foxes. Foxes are going to live also in the forest. So if we have all the forest and we have bears and foxes living together in the same place, they are going to form what? A community. Animals, groups of animals, or 2 or more populations living together are going to form a community. Also, the third part is going to be the communities interacting with the non-living things. Example in here, the bears are interacting with the trees. So, all the things in here, the communities and the non-living things interacting together are going to form the ecosystem. Okay, and the next thing is the interaction in an ecosystem. We studied these 3 kinds of interactions. Number 1, first I'm going to show you the picture and you're going to try to remember. We have in here, look, these animals are fighting for food. Do you remember what is the name of this process? This is going to be the competition. Animals of the same species or different species are going to compete in order to have something for the same resource. In this case, it's going to be food. The second kind of interaction that we study is this one. The bird is eating the fish. So this is going to be the process of predation. A living organism eating another living organism in order to have its nutrients. In here, we have an example, poor fish. But we also eat fish. And the third one is going to be the mutualism. And what is this mutualism about? Is when we have animals or living organisms or different species that are going to be helping each other. It's going to help one another. Both are going to have a benefit. Example, in here we have a buffalo and a bird. This is going to have a benefit because it's going to have the buffalo's protection and it's also going to eat. And the buffalo is going to have its skin clean. So that's by far what we have been studying. And the last topic that we covered is going to be about the 3 types of ecosystems. We remember that there were 3. I'm going to show you the pictures. Picture number 1 is going to be this beautiful ocean. So if we remember that there were 3 types of ecosystem, this one is going to be what? This is going to be an aquatic ecosystem. And what is the aquatic ecosystem? It's where the living things are going to interact with water. Example here in the ocean. Number 2, we are going to have the terrestrial ecosystem. This is where living organisms are going to develop and interact in land. Example in here, we have land. And finally, we are going to have this one that is going to be mixed. It's going to be about living organisms developing and interacting where the land is going to meet the water. In here we have water and we have land. Living organisms developing and interacting here in this area. So this is everything we have been learning about the section number 1. And the next video or class, hopefully class, is going to be about the section number 2. I also sent a worksheet that you need to complete and send it back by email. So I'm gonna check. See you next class.